Hi everyone, it's Sam, NFTstatistics, and this is your Proof Daily NFT Countdown. It's Friday, getting down on Friday. As Rebecca Black said, maybe 20 years ago. How long ago was that song? I don't even know. But let's talk about NFTs. Going to talk about that Cyberkongz sale that happened yesterday. Kind of an interesting result there, and a bunch of art blocks. This is one of the bigger art blocks days I've seen in a while. So going to dive into some of those sales, as well as a couple Bored Ape Yacht Club sales. Let's get right into it. Starting off with a quick market overview, volumes down again. They just seem to keep trending lower. Only 69% of the volume with Blur. I think that's because a lot of the sales were art blocks, were this Vera Molnar project, tend to trend a little bit more towards OpenSea with those projects. Large cap index up a small bit, not making big moves. I think all these charts have basically been kind of uneventful for the past little while. Nice little bump in World of Women, a bit of weakness in Captains and Clone X. Mid-cap index flat as well, with strength in Kampai Pandas and weakness in Nakamigos. Let's have a quick look at World of Women. That is that's a log chart, so it kind of looks a little funny, but you can see that we've had a little bit of a rally. I mean, this used to be a 14 ETH floor, but if you look at the past year, it's kind of been weak like most NFT projects, but a nice little rally that we've had there. Why that little rally? Who really knows? Why does anything rally? But it is the second anniversary of World of Women, and they're doing a little bit to celebrate, meetups with people all around the world. You can see pictures of those on the feed, and the very first sneak peek into the platform called Patio, which I think is just going to be a central place for the community to go to. I got to dig more into what Patio is exactly, but a little bit of celebration. A lot of people, Yam the artist, put out a thread talking about the journey they've been on. Overall, this has been a project that I do believe has been quite active. And continue to stay involved, continue to build. So congrats to them on the 2-year anniversary. Talking about myself, one thing I've learned in Twitter is that everybody loves to see your tweets about how down bad you are. Those are like the best performing tweets that there are. Franklin is posting about this all the time. So I'm going to do it on this show. I bought this World of Women with this Naiad close for 19.3 ETH. I have it listed for 2.3 ETH right now, and no one's buying it. I do like her. I think she's a cool World of Women, but that's my down bad mention on this show. Art projects, a ton of volume in a couple projects, Chromie Squiggles in particular. Someone came in and swept 6, a real whale. We'll show you that in a second. Vera Molnar just continues to be on fire. Floor is up to 5.5, 6 ETH versus a 1 ETH mint 48 hours ago. Let's go. Nice to see people making money again on this project. Clearly someone who has a lot of provenance and people want to own her NFTs. This one in the top left was the top selling Vera Molnar piece, sold for 18 ETH. There are only 2 that have this 10 by 10 grid. And you can see at the bottom of this grid is one blank square. And what they're trying to do there is make it 10 by 10 equals 100. Her age is 99. So there are 99 of these blocks in the grid that have design in them. And then the one blank one because she's 99. So very cool stuff. There were a bunch of Gazer sales. And this one here sold for 20 ETH. Very clean. Nice to see that sale. A Meridian sold for 8 ETH. And then an Anti-Cyclone sold for 8.5 ETH. So both really strong sales relative to the floors and where these projects have been recently. Chromie Squiggles, I just wanted to touch on because someone came in and swept 6 of them. And the 6 that they swept were basically, I believe, the lowest priced Slinkies, Ribs, and Fuzzies. And here are 4 of them. 2 of these Ribs for 22, 20 ETH. These are really nice Ribs. So those are great purchases. And then you got 2 Fuzzies sold for 18 ETH, one for a little bit lower, and then 2 Slinky sales. Now, if you look at the wallet that bought this wallet is just a massive, massive player in the space. Tons of Meridians. You can see here owns a bunch of Fidenzas, a few Ringers. So now adding some really nice Squiggles to the collection. Congrats there. Second thing to talk about, Cyberkongz Mint. How did it go? Well, here they are with a celebratory tweet about how they minted out. All Genkai NFTs will be sent to participating wallets within 24 hours. So they are not currently trading on secondary. Maybe by the time you see this, they will be, but until now, they have not. Now, what happened? They decided midway through. So they decided midway through that they weren't going to sell out of the ETH NFTs. So they decided that everybody was going to get airdropped one more for everyone they minted, which effectively takes that price down from 0.25 ETH to 0.125 ETH. And everyone who gets it, who mints again, is going to be able to do that again. So with that mechanism, they ended up minting out. So love to see that. They minted out all 3,000 on Ronin very, very quickly. I think that people are thinking maybe there's some provenance here since this is the first mint on Ronin. And also, some people kind of mumbled that maybe the Ronin ones would have better trace. I have no idea if that's true, so don't quote me on that, but that was something I heard. And then a lot of people who are really into Axie Infinity familiar with Ronin and wanted to mint. So those 3,000 went very quickly. The harder time was with the ones on ETH. Those took a little longer, and that was when they changed the policy. Now, what they also said, though, with those ones that you get airdropped to you, so first you mint one, then you're getting another one, that has the same vesting policy. And I believe it was 120 days, maybe 180 days, where they had a vesting policy where you actually can't sell it until that vesting period of 4 to 6 months ends. If you sell early, you have to pay 0.25 ETH. Those were the terms that they gave to everyone who got a free airdrop. The team, I think, seemed ready for this move. It felt like they knew going in that raising $4 million would be very difficult in this environment, especially after the difficulty that the price of elementals have had. So it feels like they had this move kind of teed up, put it into play, and finished. Overall, it was a 1,500 ETH raise, $2.8 million. I think that's a success. I think you got to say that this was a successful raise. So congratulations to Cyberkongz on that. The trading starts today, I believe, and then the reveal is not going to be for 2 weeks. Everyone knows, anticipation is the oxygen of NFTs. So give it 2 weeks for the reveal, and then we will see what happened. Third thing to talk about is that Beeple is bringing a human one, basically one of those statues, not statues is the wrong word, but one of those exhibits to the USA. Here it was reported on by Art News. NFT artist Beeple. It's a $29 million sculpture that's going to be exhibited for the first time in the US at Crystal Bridges, which is in Bentonville, Arkansas. Here is a picture of Beeple with the work of art. Here you can see you have an alien in there, and the inside, what it is, I think people really wanted to combine physical with digital, and he actually has control to change what is in the piece of art. This was one of the best-selling pieces of all time, sold for $29 million. Obviously not as much as the Everyday's piece from Beeple, which sold for $69 million, but $29 million is an incredible sale. Again, it's going to be hosted in Arkansas, and Beeple has control over what's being displayed, and he's also going to be using that to control a scavenger hunt, which people who go physically to do it, are going to be able to go on a scavenger hunt where they can earn NFTs. One thing Beeple was quoted saying is, with the ability to update this artwork, it is more akin to an ongoing conversation that I can continue to add new meaning to over time. Now, with these physical displays that have that digital combination, Beeple recently sold this one as well for $9 million and it was at an art fair in Hong Kong. The buyer was a Chinese museum, the Deji Art Museum, again, which bought this for $9 million. And this is a separate one from the one that's going to be in Arkansas, but it's still interesting. So I just kind of wanted to comment on it real quick. There's another photo of it. I just kind of started reading about it for the first time in detail. And this piece is going to change over time. It will do so on a predetermined schedule. Every 5 years, people will alter the video to raise the water level. And over time, humans will start to live underwater. In addition to addressing the reality of climate change, Beeple also wanted to create a piece that conveyed a message of hope, because he really thinks people always find a way to live. So kind of an interesting message, both of the risks of climate change with that water level rising into that structure, but at the same time, I'm sure making it where humans are continuing to live despite those challenges. Lastly, let's talk about a few notable sales. I want to talk about these two, because these were both, a black suit ape and a red laser ape. I mean, these were both just total grail Bored Ape Yacht Club traits, pretty for most of them. They're still selling around 2 times floor price. But if you look at where the prior black suit sales have been, you had one at 147, one at 159. The one yesterday sold for just 75. So half the price of the more recent sales that we've had. Prior red laser or laser eye sales have been at 104.2, 200 ETH. Obviously, that one at 200 is super clean, but still a punchy sale. And that compares to this sale at 52.21. So clearly, we're seeing that the grails in Bored Ape Yacht Club, and we've seen, I'm a broken record saying this, floor prices are going down and grail premiums are going down. And I think this really brought that to light, I think, in a pretty unique way. Another grail sale to talk about, this diamond skin Pudgy sold for 88 ETH. Yeah, I talked about this recently with the 69 ETH gold skin Pudgy. This is now the 5th highest Pudgy penguin sale of all time, the highest ever for a non-one of one. And this was also bought by Rollbit. Remember, Rollbit creates these boxes where if you win, you get an NFT that is purchased for you. And this was the one that won. So congratulations to the seller who listed that at 88 ETH. And I think even if you love Pudgy penguins, and I love Pudgy penguins, I think this is well above where one would have expected to sell it, but can't complain. Love to see it. Unlike last time, the guy who won this did not immediately list it. The guy who won that last one for 69 ETH immediately listed it for 42 ETH. So that's kind of ridiculous. This one at least has not listed it. And then one of one sale to talk about. This piece is called Cheap Problems by Omente Jovem, sold for 15 ETH. The buyer was Flannel Capital. Congrats to Flannel Capital as well as Omente Jovem. and just recently kind of what did Omente say about this piece? He said that he went through a phase where he questioned why he was giving so much attention to certain problems in his life, especially after his dad's heart surgery, realized he wanted to focus on love and being the best version of himself, not just for his own benefit, but also for others. This inspired him to create the artwork called Cheap Problems. So a very personal caption in this piece in the way he describes it. That is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, give us a like below. Tell us what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to our Telegram group. That is in the comments. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday with another show. Talk to you soon.